Welcome to bakingmad.com. I'm here today to show you the Pinata cake from my new book Cakeology. It's dead easy, but it looks really impressive. So I'm going to start off with a couple of layers of sponge. You can use any size. So first of all, I'm going to cut the tops off just to make it nice and flat. So I'm using a cake leveler. So I'm just going to slice across. This is just taking off the top kind of lumpy bit where it's been baked in the oven. So you can save these if you want to make trifle or cake pops. So again, just all the way across, just to take off that top humpy bit. Now I need to fill these with buttercream and fill them with sweets. So what I'm going to do first of all is cut each of these halves in half just to get some buttercream through there. So I'm just going to take my knife and make a little cut on each of them. So when I go through with my cake leveler to put my filling in, I know that I'm going to put them back in the right place so they're not going to be really wonky. So I'm just going to slice each one of these through. So that's got a cut going all the way through the middle. And this one. Okay, so what I need to do now is create a cavity that I'm going to fill with sweets. So I'm just going to place that on top and just make a hole in here. So it doesn't need to be neat, I'm just going to use a saucer. You can use anything round really. So I'm going to cut all the way through this, and that's going to give me my middle part that I'm going to fill with sweets. So when we cut it open, there's going to be a lovely surprise in the middle. Remove the centerpieces, reserving the thinnest layer to use as your lid. So the cakes are ready to fill now. So first of all, I'm just going to take a turntable. It is easier if you're using a turntable. And I've got a nice big cake board here because I'm going to display it, and when you've opened it, all the sweets can fall out on the top. So I'm going to start off by putting my first layer on there and just use a little bit of vanilla buttercream. I've just got a really simple buttercream made with butter, icing sugar and Nielsen Massey vanilla bean paste. And I've used the same buttercream actually for the coloured one, so it's quite simple. So just go all the way round with some buttercream. Okay, so I can just have a look at where my guideline was and just make sure that I'm putting that back in the same place. There we go. Just place this one on. Repeat the process using the remaining 3 layers. So there we go. So now it's a fun time to add in all your sweets. I'm just going to use a mixture of all different kinds. I've got jelly sweets, chocolates. Try not to eat them all, I've already eaten too many. So I'm going to push them in, and now what I'm doing is filling it up, but not all the way to the top, because once I'm done I want to add a sponge on top just so I can get it nice and flat. Save these for later. So just get my piece of sponge and just push that down. Next I'm going to give the cake a crumb coat. It's not essential, but you might find if you pipe the ruffles onto the sponge without it, it may not stick. So now it's the fun bit, the decorating. We've done all the hard work, so I've just coloured up my buttercream in advance. Do it freshly so it's not really stiff. It's a good idea to kind of mix it and go straight onto the cake. I'm using a petal nozzle here, and you can see they've got a fat bit at the bottom and a thin bit at the top, and that's going to give us our ruffle effect. The most important thing is having the fat bit touching the cake and the thin bit pointing out. If you do that, you're pretty much there. And the other thing, it's all about the kind of wiggle really, so just give it a wiggle. So fat bit against the cake, and I'm just wiggling. See how I'm doing that? It doesn't matter if you see a little bit of the cake on the inside. Continue the process going up the side of the cake, alternating your colours. And now we're just going to continue over the top of the cake, so it's the same principle, and we're just coming in ever decreasing circles now just to finish off the design. So just spinning it round still. Again, continue alternating your colours in ever decreasing circles until the cake is completely covered. And there you have it, fantastic pinata cake suitable for so many occasions.